here, and today, have you ever wondered when it was 7 o'clock in Texas today? What time was it in San Francisco? Well, we're going to learn that today, and when it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, a trip through time zones. Let's get reading. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, a trip through time zones. By Cynthia Janes Omololu, illustrated by Randy Duber. San Francisco, 6 o'clock a.m. It's 6 o'clock in San Francisco. Time to get up, Mom calls from downstairs. Jared shivers, feeling the cold wood floor against his bare feet. Lifting a corner of the curtain, he peeks out the window at his fingers of fog reaching over the hills. He smells bacon cooking, and his stomach starts to rumble. Jumping the last 2 steps, he heads toward the kitchen calling, "Is the cocoa ready yet?" Montreal, 9 o'clock a.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 9 o'clock in Montreal. Genevieve squints up at the tall building as she and Papa emerge from the metro, a faint chiming sound in the distance. Was that the bell? She asks. "We must hurry!" Grabbing Papa's hand, she starts to run toward the school gates. "Wait, Genevieve!" Papa calls. The sidewalk is very ice, but the rest is lost as they slip and slide on a wide patch of ice. Bang! Down goes Papa. Thump! Genevieve lands next to him. Montreal. "Are you okay?" Genevieve asks with a worried look. Papa sits up laughing as they sprawl on the sidewalk. "Tres bien," he says, and gives Genevieve a kiss on both cheeks. When he is back on his feet, he reaches down to help her up. But now, let's hurry a little more slowly. Santiago, 11 o'clock a.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 11 o'clock in Santiago. Elena's tongue sticks in the corner of her mouth as she rubs at the math problem with her eraser. Blowing the pink shreds of rubber off her desk, she notices a crumbled piece of paper at her feet. "Psst," hisses Maria, 2 rows over. Elena turns to look. "Read it." Maria's lips move, but there is no sound in the quiet classroom. Bending to retrieve the note, Elena hears a chair scrape at the front of the room. "Elena?" Astura Portilla's voice booms. "Is there something you would like to share with the class?" London, 2 o'clock p.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 2 o'clock in London. Oliver's knees are red with cold, but he is running so hard he doesn't feel it. His feet pound the grass, the ball spinning with each kick toward the goal that's looming straight ahead. But as soon as he's close enough to shoot, a tangle of legs block his path. "Through!" his teammate calls from across the field. Oliver kicks the ball in his direction. Second later, it's whistling into the net. "Goal!" his teammates cry. High fives all around. The bell echoes across the yard. "Game over!" The boys pick up their gear and head slowly back to class. Cape Town, 4 o'clock p.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 4 o'clock in Cape Town. The rain falls hard and fast, and Nikosi dashes from tarp to tarp as he wins through the stalls in the green market. Mama has sent him on an errand on the way home from school. Nikosi stops to run his fingers over some CDs. "Do you have money today?" the man behind the table asks. "Today I have many rand," he answers, "but some are to buy washing powder for you, Mama." "Choose quickly, my boy," the man says with a wink. "Best not to keep laundry or Mother's waiting." Lahore, 7 o'clock p.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 7 o'clock in Lahore. Rashida's eyes water and her tongue burns. She reaches for the basket of chapati on the loaded dinner table. Too hot for you? Her father teases. Mama's dal is spicier than most cooks in Pakistan. No, it is good, she answers, using the flatbread to ease the fire. As her father takes a large mouthful of stew, his face reddens and he starts to cough. Rashida passes the cucumber right to him. The yogurt will close the burning. Hand over her mouth, she glances at her father and tries very hard not to laugh. Beijing, 10 o'clock p.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 10 o'clock in Beijing. Minyu watches his breath sparkle in the frosty air. The ride home from his grandparents' house is short but cold. Balanced on the back of the bicycle, Minyu uses his father-borrowed bag as protection from the wind. At least it's not snowing, his mother says, pedaling beside them, as stars shimmer like icicles as they peek around the tops of buildings. Ba, I'm tired, Minyu calls. Hold on tight, his father answers. We'll be home soon. Pressing his head against his father's warm coat, he watches the street rush by under the spinning tires. Sydney, 1 o'clock a.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 1 o'clock in Sydney. Alkira should be asleep, but instead she's listening for her father's footsteps on the stairs. Her eyes fly open as she hears the front door creak. Daddy, can I have some water? She calls into the darkness. Of course, he whispers from the hallway. A moment later, he tiptoes into the bedroom, a glass of cool water in his hand, hot and thirsty. She drains it in one gulp. Daddy bends down to kiss her good night. Just back from his shift in the taxi, he smells of car exhaust and gasoline. Alkira loves these smells because they mean he is home from work at last. Good night, Daddy, she says softly, half asleep already. She takes the empty glass and slips quietly out of the room. Honolulu, 4 o'clock a.m. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 4 o'clock in Honolulu. Kilana rolls over in bed and watches the shadows in the thin line of light peeking under her door. She hears muffled voices and smells strong coffee. Grabbing her blanket, she opens the door and squints into the bright light. Oh, baby, sorry we woke you, Mommy says, glancing at Daddy. Why is your surfboard in the kitchen? Kilana asks him. Waimea Bay is beautiful waves right now, he tells her. I went to do some surfing before work. You can stay up until Daddy leaves. Then it's back to bed, Mommy says, kissing her on the forehead. Kilana climbs onto her lap. She wonders how to convince Mommy to let her stay up for good. It's 6 o'clock in San Francisco. Jared kicks his feet under the table as he wraps his cold fingers around the mug of hot cocoa. Peanut butter or bologna? Mom asks, grabbing his lunchbox from the top of the fridge. Bologna, please, he answers. New York, 9 o'clock a.m. The ringing telephone pierced the quiet morning. Must be Grandma, his mother says, reaching for the phone. She's the only one who calls this early. But it's not that early at Grandma's house, Jared says, blowing the stream off his hot cocoa. When it's 6 o'clock in San Francisco, it's 9 o'clock in New York City. The end. Did you know I lived in 2 different time zones? One was the Eastern time zone, and the other one was the Central time zone. I'm almost at 50 subscribers. Thank you to all my subscribers who subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the like button and share with your friends. Happy reading!